What's up, Warrior? James Ng here. We are going through a list of the top sales team killers. And today we're going to go through number 3, which is the management mode. So if that sounds like something interesting to you, be sure to like this, share this, stay around till the end. This will save you time, energy, and money. And my goal is to be able to share with you through 13 years of being a top sales leader, mistakes that I've made that have killed teams that I hope can help you to avoid those mistakes, to have the impact and build the income that you're so desiring. So I wonder, have you ever had an experience where somebody was trying to tell you to do something and you thought in your mind, hey, they don't do what they're telling me? Whether it's as a child and you see your parents or a loved one or an elder telling you something they don't do. Maybe it's in your business and your coach mentor, they're telling you to make some call sales and it's like not happening. And you might not tell them right up front, but on the inside, you've already made a decision that you will not listen to them. Well, Warrior, as a sales leader, one of the most important things that we need to always make sure of is that we are leading from the front. Warriors don't sit back in the trenches. Warriors lead from the front. If that makes sense at all, comment me below. Now, share with you a story when I learned this. I thought leadership meant that you could train a good training. I thought it meant that you could quote the good quotes. I thought it meant that you could look good and look like a leader. So I remember early on in my leadership career, one of my main goals, and I would tell people this in my network marketing career, that I'm not a good recruiter, that I'm not a good seller. I could convince myself that all I could do was be a good trainer. So my goal was, let me get really good at training because I might not be able to recruit and sell, but I know I can train other people to recruit and sell. Now it sounded really good in my head and it kind of worked for a little bit. So I started to grow my sales teams and I started having some people willing to listen to me. And I remember I was standing up on stage and I sounded really good. I looked really good. I was saying all the right things. But I remember what happened was in the back of my mind, I knew that this was a disadvantage. And what happened was when I finally had the opportunity to expand my team into people that were very influential, into people that were really good salespeople, into people that were amazing recruiters, I realized that my influence was stuck. And it was like I was at the mercy of what they were doing. Have you ever felt like you had to depend on your team? Like it was almost like I remember there was a teammate in particular. This person crushed company records. This person was making all types of good money. And because I knew I could not do what this person was doing, I wasn't leading from the front. I felt like I had to like make sure that I could attend to every single detail of this person's life. I felt like I was almost their slave. That was the only thing that I could do. Like I was at their beck and call. And that's something that you never want to do. And guess what happens? When bad times come, and they always will, well, because I didn't have influence and actual respect from this leader, strong leaders leave when they can't respect you. So it's so important that as warriors that we lead from the front. So let me give you 3 things to consider whenever you're giving some type of leadership direction. Because once I made these pivots and once I turned this all around, everything changed for me. I would love for you as a leader to be able to have respect at all times. So number 1 is this. Let's say you're telling your team to do something, question to think. Are you currently doing what you're telling your team to do? Simple, right? Are you currently doing what you're telling them to do? Let's say, for example, I'm telling my team, hey, go make more posts on social media. Go be present, go get exposure, go market yourself. I think to myself this first, I'm like, am I doing that? Have I been doing that? And when I say, are you doing that? It's not, did you do that a year ago? Did you do that 10 years ago? I've had some mentors in the past that they would constantly talk about back in the day, 10 years ago, what they did. And while that's nice to have, can we all agree that it's different? You want somebody that is in the trenches with you. You want to follow people that are doing what it is that they're telling you to do. There's a difference of a coach that's training from like the ivory tower versus a leader that's in the field, right? I think about the war movies when there's the leaders and the generals that are actually leading the charge versus the ones where the generals are in the back all cozy and comfortable. Who would you want to follow if you had a choice? We'd all follow that one that's in the field with you. So think to yourself, are you actually doing what you're telling people to do? And if not, it should be a red flag to us that, hey, as a leader, as a warrior, I should probably start doing this more. And it's okay, right? We all fall short and we're all not perfect all the time. But if you ever catch yourself giving someone a direction where you're like, I should probably do that, do it as quickly as possible so that you can remain in integrity and have respect. Okay, if you're still with me, put a 1 in the comments below, or if you're listening to this, just put that mental note right there. Okay, are you doing right now what you're currently telling other people to do? Easy way to just continue to lead from the front. But it's not just continuing to do what you're telling people to do. Strong leaders, strong warriors. Number 2, do this. They set a higher personal standard than what they tell their people to do. All right. If you want to inspire somebody, it's not just telling them what to do, but are you doing it more? Are you doing it better? For sake of example, let's say you want tell your team to sell more. And let's say you're telling them, hey, let's all get a customer. Let's all get a customer. Are you number 1, doing it yourself? But number 2, are you doing it more? Are you doing it more? Think about somebody trying to tell you. I think about in the gym. And if you want a trainer, wouldn't you want the trainer to be buffer than you? Wouldn't you want a trainer to be stronger than you? Because when you're coaching someone, when you're leading somebody, when push comes to shove, there's going to come tough times. And what we always want to do is we want to find any excuse to call out someone else, to blame someone else. That's just natural human nature. So I'll just use a gym analogy. Let's say I'm benching and I'm trying to bench like 2 45-pound plates on each side. For a man, that's like you're strong. Okay. And let's say your trainer's like, hey, go push, go do this thing. And you're like, man, this is hard. I'm going to try to complain to the trainer, be like, I don't know if I could do this. I think this is impossible. Imagine the trainer comes down and not only just benches the 2 plates, but he puts on another plate on the side and he starts benching that. You don't have to say anything. He showed by example that it's possible. So warriors also set a higher personal standard as a leader. So if you're telling somebody to sell, get 1 customer, are you getting 5? If you're telling somebody to make a post, are you doing multiple? Like, are you setting a higher bar in anything that you're telling people to do? If you're telling people to be more patient with other people, are you showing patience? Are you showing that that's exactly how to do it to a higher level? If you're still with me on this, put a 2 in the comments below. Final part of avoiding this sales team killer, of avoiding management mode and leading from the front. Here's a big tip. Are you not just doing what you're telling other people to do? Are you not just setting a higher personal standard, but is your example inspiring to other people? This is huge. You see, one of my mentors taught me this is that when in leadership, if you really want to inspire somebody, it's not just doing the work, but are you making it look good? Think about a swan. If you think about a swan on water, Swans look super elegant and graceful on the surface of the water. But the reality is, if you look under the surface of the water, they're paddling like heck. Like it's crazy, right? It takes a lot to try to float. So, as a leader in your sales team, are you showing a good example, but you're also doing it in a way where people are like, wow, they make it look good. Now, it's not to say there's tough times. It's not to say that you can't be vulnerable when you're having troubles. Do that. We talked about them in one of our previous mistakes. But you want to showcase such an example that when people look at you, they're like, wow, they're a normal human being, but they're doing this to a higher level. Like, I just see that they're making this look really good. I want to be like them. I want to be able to get closer to them. You see, in leadership, typically how it works is if you're level 8, people only do a level 6. So you want to set a higher bar. You want to be inspiring with what you do so that if people and when people copy you, even if they can't reach that bar, they're going somewhere lower, but that's still very effective for them. I hope this makes sense. Leaders should strive for that. Warriors should strive to be inspiring in every single thing that they do to make it look good. You're going to hit it every single time, but if you set that as a goal, it's going to allow you to elevate your leadership to the next level. So 3 things that get you from management mode to leading from the front. Number 1, are you currently doing what it is you're telling people to do? Number 2, are you setting a higher personal standard than what you tell people to do? And number 3, are you doing it in an inspiring way? Whereas when I realized these things and I had to look my eyes in the face, if you know my story, we've built our career has had a couple moments to it. We've been 13 years in the same company. It took us 6 years the first time to get to 6 figures. And then things happened when we lost almost everything. And we made a decision to relaunch our business. And actually we relaunched as the Warrior Movement. I looked at myself in the face. I looked at myself in the mirror and I said to myself, I need to lead from the front right now. I need to set a new personal standard. And I had to confront this recruiting issue in the face. Remember, I told you before that recruiting was always my crutch. I always thought that I sucked at it. And I always leaned on being able to train others to be able to do it. Well, I said, this time I'm going to do it different. This time I want to lead from the front. So I heard of this idea of recruiting 20 new people in 30 days into my network marketing business. And I'll be real. I mean, that was a lot. The most I'd ever done was maybe 4 in a month, maybe 5 in a month, but 20. Where am I going to find these people? How am I going to do this? Like, what? But I remember getting inspired by this idea. And I said, I'm going to commit to this and figure it out, because how can I lead a world-class organization if I can't even do this myself, if I can't set a high bar? So I rolled up my sleeves and I committed to this goal of enrolling 20 people in 30 days. And I got to work. And I'm going to tell you this, it was definitely hard in the beginning. It was very awkward in the beginning. Every day I confronted my fears. Every single day I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm making all the mistakes. But by the end of the 30 days, I did enroll 20 new partners into my business. And you know what that did for me? Well, of course, it launched their business. But it got me a different confidence that I never had before as a leader. It helped me set a new standard that now when I was coaching a teammate to enroll someone, I'm like, enrolling one person, 20 was able to get done. So I felt so strong and capable in being able to lead somebody. I knew that I had an example and a proof of concept. So I could lead people to where I've been. Leaders can only lead people to where you've been before. Right? So, and I inspired so many people. And since that day, I've continued to lead from the front. And now my number one goal is always, I'm always almost in competition with my team, a positive competition. I love it when our teammates win. I love it when they rise, but I'm always thinking, I should do better. I'm always thinking I should recruit more, sell more, lead more, do better. Because leaders and warriors lead from the front. And I challenge you in your business. I challenge you as a leader, even if right now you're leading just yourself. We all start that way. Are you willing to lead from the front? Are you willing to set an example that people be inspired by? Because if you are, it's not a matter of if you grow a team. It's a matter of when. It's not a matter of if you'll command respect. It's a matter of when. And I know that it'll absolutely transform your life. So I'd love to hear in the comments below, did this impact you? What are some thoughts? What are some takeaways? I hope from every single one of these conversations, you can get at least one actionable item. So learn, but also do. Leave it in the comments below. If you did find this impactful, if you're not yet subscribed to this podcast, highly consider. Go to YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever that it is. I'm going to continue to drop these types of nuggets to help you to unleash your inner warrior so you can make the impact and the income that you're desiring in your businesses. So I hope it was helpful. And if it was, consider sharing this as well too. Other than that, till the next one, Warriors out.